Woman in Nepali Army, written by Captain Shichan Moktan. A woman is a multi-dimensional character as with every role she could mounts herself. Metamorphosis in every step of life is what makes her dynamic, intriguing, formidable, and resonant. Women are emblem of love and they possess power of regeneration which makes them creator, fearless, strong, audacious and courageous whereas at the same time affectionate, compassionate and magnanimous. Still this factor fade most of all the time as women are often judged by their physicality. It has been so over the course of history where women have been taken as homemaker and means to continue family name. History was written mainly by men and about men's activities in the public sphere, war, politics, diplomacy, and administration. Women are usually excluded and, when mentioned, are usually portrayed in sex stereotypes roles such as wives, mothers, daughters, and mistress. Wikipedia.com 2017. Still, women like Boudica, 1st century, Princess Pingyang, 7th century, Miltida of Kenosha, 11th century, Tamar of Georgia, 12th century, Kutulun, 13th century, Joan of Arc, 15th century, Rani Lakshmibai, and Jalkari Bai, 19th century, and many more because successful to enlist their name in history as women in combat. With the evolution of time, women involvement in military services has risen significantly. Countries like Israel, Norway, North Korea, and Bolivia have mandatory military services for women. Meanwhile, most of the countries enroll women in military service. As for Nepali Army, women enrollment started in 2018 BS with intake of nurses, after which in 2022 BS women were conscripted as parachute folders. In 2026 BS, women doctors were enrolled and in 2055 BS, women were taken in legal department. Women involvement in Nepali army was first mentioned in the Article of 10 of Military Act 2016, which stated that there will be no legal obstruction while employing women in the armies as branches. Even then, it was only in 2060 BS when women were enrolled for infantry military service and 2061 BS women officers in SN 46 officer candidate basic. Since then, every intake has had women enrollment except in basic 47 officer cadet. Statistics of women in Nepali army. According to the latest census of 2011, Nepal's population was 2 crore 64 lakhs 94,504, in which women made total of 7 lakhs 96,422, that is 51.8% of total population of Nepal. Though in the race of numbers, women seem to be leading, but in terms of opportunities, women seem to be left far behind. So, it in the case of Nepali army, where enrollment for men started since the unification campaign and that of women in general service started towards the end of insurgency. The late involvement and nature of military somehow reflects in the number of women composition in Nepali army. However, Nepali army has been focusing in attention toward women empowerment and according to AG Department Army Records Office, as of August 2016, out of total 91998 soldiers, women makes 3,664, out of which 2,691 are serving a general military. Thus, Nepali army has 9.8% of women personnel. To increase the ratio of women personnel to male, Nepali army has segregated quotas and formulated policies and directives to boost women empowerment. United Nations and women participation. United Nations UN, working for world peace in an exemplary organization promoting world peace, security, equality, development, and prosperity around the world. Nepali army started participating in UN peacekeeping mission from 1958 AD, and it was only after 4 decades it started sending women in the peacekeeping duties. As of November 11, 2017, the Nepali army has been developed, deployed across 14 different UN peacekeeping missions around the globe. As a troop contributing country, Nepal ranks 6th in the world. Currently, Nepali army has some 4,665 soldiers, including 116 female soldiers serving in 14 different missions around the globe. UN promotes women participation in conflict and post-conflict areas as they generate insecure, harsh, and abuseful ambience for women, and women peacekeepers are the best manpower to work in this kind of environment. Realizing the roles of women as well as empower women and to give reality to gender equality, UN Security Council passed Resolution 1325, that is 2000, on women, peace and security. The historic revolution was passed 17 years ago, still suffers from lack of appropriate uniformed. August 2017, women constituted only 3.7% of military personnel and 9.4% of police personnel. Dean 2017. Nepali army also has merely 2.48% of women participation, which reflects the lower rate of women empowerment and gender issues prevalent in our country. To overcome this and to be a model organization promoting women empowerment, Nepali Army currently is planning to increase the percentage of women personnel and is undergoing policies to increase the women participation by whooping 15%. Policies, requirements, and challenges. Nepali army, while recruiting women, follow the policy and practice of gender equality and women empowerment. In compliance to the Nepal's law, which state that 45% of all vacant government positions should be reserved for excluded groups. The army in 2006 AD amended its Army Act, after which, out of the 45% reserved position within the Nepali army, 20% is reserved for women, 32% for Janajati, 28% for Madeshi, 15% for Dalit, and 5% for remote regions. Nepali army is in the full swing to empower women and at the same time working hard to administer and generate opportunities for the recruited women. Policies that guide the working of women in army is given in Mahila Sainik Nirdeshika 2017. The policies formulated in this directive are guided by Sainik Niyamawali 2069. Women soldiers, according to Sainik Niyamawali 2069, are soldiers who are enrolled in general military service. The general military service under which women will operate is divided as service in military school training, human rights, media, record keeping, military police, cavalry, and other associated fields. Service is logistics, supply and transport, maintenance of troops, and other similar services. Service in intelligence, physiological operations, public relation, civil military cooperation, and other correlated areas. With every intake, the number of female soldiers is in rise and the adjustment in these restricted services is becoming difficult. If this trend continues after a decade or two, this sector will have monopoly of women. On the other hand, it is becoming difficult for qualified male counterparts to get to work in these offices as priority is slightly inclined towards female. This inclination each future can bring some issues, but at the same time, it is obviously helping to enhance enrollment in military service and augment service period of female soldiers who have dual role to play in our practical society. Military service assigned as per the rank structure and their future prospects is also formulated in Mahila Sainik Nirdeshika 2070, which state that for women officers in combat service support, rank from second lieutenant to the highest rank can be given and for the other rank up to warrant officer. Women can be appointed in combat and combat support units, logistics, intelligence protection units, and army headquarters. The directive has clearly mentioned the work area of women, but as for the career planning, still some stones seem unturned. At present, the highest rank designated to a female soldier in the infantry unit is major. With this, to further navigate the career of women officers, Army Command and Staff Course ACSC was opened from this year, which was a major breakthrough in the history of Nepali Army. This policy opened doors for female officers to be able to participate in the as 25 ACSC in 2075. From here, where do they had and what sort of opportunities they will be provided or deprived are the questions that will be answered by mighty time. In the meantime, Nepali army established in first only woman comprised independent company named Sri Gorkhali Company in 1st Shravan 2074. This company, now located inside the perimeter of Valley Division headquarters, also works under this division. Two X section of the company were mobilized under Valley Division for the federal and provincial election of 2074 with strength of 178 with the first ever female company commander. This company is an example of women leadership and competitions, providing foundation for brighter prospects at the same time encouraging women participation, ensuring their place in the institution run by men some decades ago and in placing female in the rank to break free from the stereotypical roles assigned. Nepali army has been focusing and working to strive for the betterment of female soldiers as they face more challenges than their male counterpart in the challenging profession. Challenges in the policy making level regarding women empowerment in Nepali army, career planning, women supplemented, formulated and encouraged. Apart from these, our challenges of female soldier facts individually starts from recruitment process and continues with tough training as women are physically less gifted by God and seem to face bodily associated problems. Even after the trainings, women in their units are liable to suffer from accommodation problems, cleaning and sanitation, harassment, abuse, and exploitation. Another dear women seem to face is after they get in unison, they face trouble in time management, and the problem gets bigger when they have children, as our work demands staying away from home most of the time and demands service 24/7. Gender equality and women in work are relatively new and sprouting concept in our country. So no household runs without women, making it harder for female soldier to balance between the two and more move ahead. Other challenges that stands out is likeness of posting near the vicinity of home favoring work environment both in workplace and residence. Conclusion: Nepali Army is an exemplary institution and people look up to the institution for its excellence. Involvement in Nepali Army signifies shortening of differences between capabilities of men and women like no other institution because it has been men centric since its establishment. Women inclusion in Nepali army is a benchmark as what women are capable of and how with the waves of the time this organization has evolved in the most rectilineous way. Women in Nepali army implied that women are no longer icon of beauty and tenderness, but they are strong-headed, mentally fit, and physically capable. Female soldiers in Nepali army break the glass of traditional roles and perspective of our society. Society where a word woman in a pictogram of household works and machine for reproduction. Women in Nepali army symbolize the voice of every woman, symbolize alternating viewpoint of potential and competence of women, and symbolize a giant step towards achieving gender equality. Nepali army has proved itself capable of change for the best interests of the country and countrymen. It also been working hard to formulate policies and plan to give the placement women deserve in our society. Biggest regard of Nepali army is proportional involvement of women which is highly appreciable, but the task of inclusiveness in Nepali army still seems unrefined and impromptu. Since women issues are very sensitive, huge void is still to be filled and numerous issues are to be resolved. Either we accept it or not. Women require more attention and proper planning as compared to men. It would be better if the formulation of plans and policies are conducted in time considering all the factors mentioned in the paper as women would be aware of prepared mentally as what they are expected, what to expect from their service in the prestigious organizations.